What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar. We are talking about Cleanspark at the request of Honcho, Navi, and Moed. Everybody's wondering because we've had such a positive day, positive past couple days. What's going on with Cleanspark? Are my price predictions, price projections for lower prices still at play? Are we going up from here? Is the low in? All those questions, we're going to be going over that right now, so buckle up. If you want to hit the like button, that's very much appreciated. If you'd like to subscribe, that's awesome as well. And without any further ado, let's get into this. So right now what it's looking like is you did find support on a previous weekly closing high, a previous tip here, right, and previous areas of support. You found support on a closing basis right here. You opened up below it this week, but then you moved up. Nice. Bullish engulfing candle, nice. You're moving up. Yes, you are. On a daily perspective here, if we take the relative high to the relative low, you're still at the 0.5 area. And this, this might be on me. I definitely have been expecting the price to go lower, and I do still expect the price to go lower than this low. Just to get that out of the way, I very much do expect the price will go lower than that low. But you hit the 0.5, rejected it, got below the 382. That's generally not a good thing. But finding support on the 236 the way you did, getting back above the 382 on a closing basis, maybe I should have given that a little bit more credit than I first did. This move very well could take us all the way up to the 61869 area between about 1018 and 1070, something like that, 1075. Absolutely, it could. It'd still be, a lower high than that high, a lower high than these highs. Yes, on this overall move, it would be a higher high than this high, but this high was a higher high than this high. Until we turn around, we don't actually know where the high is. I did assume that it was here, and it's also very possible that we could have some kind of double top. But the way that these fibs are looking, unless we reject tomorrow, unless we turn around tomorrow, it is looking like we're probably going to go to the 61869. And that is surprising, relatively speaking, because I have been saying for the past few days now that I don't expect that we're going to go above this high. But when we were down here, I was saying that the price could go all the way back to $12 even, right? It could go all the way back up here, and we could still go lower, right? Absolutely we could, because we've seen this kind of stuff before with Cleanspark, right? You went from, at the highest, 760 here. You went all the way down to 491. And then you made a move right after that took you back up to just below $7. You know what I mean? Very, very quick. And then you proceeded to go down for a far larger amount of time. It took 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of going down, and on that fourth week you actually started coming up. But on the fourth week you found your relative low, and then you went higher. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks down. That was our low, and then the next week we started moving up. Here at our high here, you did move down after 2 or 3 weeks, and you didn't go lower, but you consolidated. Now this would be kind of the best case scenario for the bulls, maybe the worst case scenario for the bears. Anybody looking to buy lower than this low, that wouldn't be ideal, but we would still have time to buy, because I very much do doubt that we're just going to go up like this. Personally, I don't expect that to happen. I think that this is just standard volatility for this thing. We did drop pretty fast. I went through and measured these, and from top to bottom here, that was 47%. Top to bottom here, 55%. This little pit stop right here, 35%. And then here, 52%. So it's not the largest drop we've had so far. It is the largest increase. You can see that. I don't even need to measure that. You can see that that's absolutely the largest increase we've had. But 52%, it's not the largest, but it does fit in this range, and it is at the upper limits of that range, but it happened pretty fast. 55% over months, where this happened in less than a month's time. So could we see, if we're moving straight down, could we see some kind of relative bounce and then move lower? Yes, I think that's to be expected, right? Nothing moves in a straight line forever. You do move up and down. There is volatility along the way, normally, almost always. On a kind of more grand view, from the low to high here, the macro low to the relative high, we didn't even hit the 382, which you don't need to hit the 382, but I would expect that you would at least do that and probably go a little bit below that. That's why I'm really not too fazed by this. You are above the 236. To be fair, that's not a bad look at all. But again, we've seen these kind of things happen before, right? Where here you bounced right off your 236, you went all the way back up to your 0.069, and then you went down, right? Here you went barely at your 382, a little bit below it, and then you went up to your 069, but then you still came back below your 236. Relatively speaking to that, we could go all the way up to like just below $12 and then still move below 835, which is lower than where we are now, if we were to do anything that we've done previously on this move up, right? And then not only that, kind of last but not least, as far as like the relative fibs go, what was it that I was going to say? Actually, I can't remember. Was it this or was it an extension? Low to high, hitting the 0.5. Yeah, if we go up to the 236 here, we might find resistance there at about 977, and then turn around from there. We could have this double top going on, or it is very possible that we could see this 618 retracement, 69 retracement. Very normal to happen. You know, you could even go to your 786 or 886 and still turn lower. We've seen that before. But the higher this goes, right, being that this is technically a little bit higher than this previous high, right here, 580 was the minimum target if we are to turn lower, and I do believe we will. Now it's 579. It's just a little bit lower. It's just 1 cent lower. But as we go higher, if we were to go to the 618 area, let's say we go right in the middle of the 618 and the 69, somewhere like right there. The 1272 goes from being at 550 to 561. Potentially the 1618 all the way down at 473. I'm going to draw a circle on both of these areas, right? Kind of like splitting, actually maybe out over here, right there, and right there. And I'm going to take this away. Nope, I thought I was, but I guess not. Let's see. Take that away. Take that away, and let's zoom out, right? If we drew a line right here, kind of keeping up with this trend, relatively speaking, you can see that the 1618 target, that was the lower circle, right? It comes very well in line with this line. The 1272, the minimum target, comes very well in line with this line as well, but just a little bit above it. And again, same stuff I was saying yesterday. Just because this line's there doesn't mean we have to hit it, right? We had this line, I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, we had this line here, or maybe it's, you know, a little bit more fine-tuned like this. Either way, we came close to it, but we didn't hit it. We could come close to this line too and not hit it. That's not too crazy, especially with broadening patterns. That kind of stuff is more normal. But long story short, guys, I am not worried about this at all. Not a lot of volume, still below average volume, and we're getting some of the bigger candles we've seen so far. That when the volume does come in, it'll probably eat this alive. Like we'll probably get a solid rejection. You know, let me see here too. Here earnings were good. We moved up for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. We were up in this area, and then we moved lower still. So even on positive earnings, and I mean that wasn't positive, I guess, but it says green, so I guess it's overall positive. Let's see. Here the earnings were positive as well, and we only went up that day and then continued to consolidate and move lower actually, right? So does this mean, even if earnings are positive tomorrow, even if we go up another 10% tomorrow, does this mean that it's time to go? Probably not. Probably not. You know, I'm not worried about it. Do what you want. It's your money. None of this is financial advice, but I wouldn't be buying here. I'm not letting go of my puts. I'm not phased. It's just standard volatility, man. I very, very, very much do believe we're going to see prices below here again. And at the worst, for the bears, for people in my position who have put options open or they're looking to buy lower, at the worst, I would expect that we do go below this low again, at least. But still probably going below $8, you know, something like that. So one way or another, it can go up from here, and that's, you know, it's just normal. It's normal for this thing. It literally does this, right? I mean, you pumped harder over here, and with more well, I guess not, pretty relatively the same volume actually, but more volume relatively speaking. You can see here it's out of the average volume, where here you're below the average volume for what you've been given. But yeah, I'm just saying the same stuff over and over again. Oh yeah, one last thing too. And just because I'm saying all these, I'm giving all these reasons as to why the price won't go up or why I think it won't go up, doesn't mean it can't. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I definitely didn't expect the past couple days to go the way that they have, but here it is, you know. Gave all my reasons why I'm not worried about it, and I do stand by all those reasons. But here's one more. Since we formed our cycle low back in December of 2022 with Bitcoin, right, in November, that's whenever Bitcoin formed its low, its cyclical low. Ever since then, every time we've been below this green line, the 123 moving average, right, on the daily, 123 moving average, every time we've been below that, it's been a good time to buy. It's been a good time to buy. We haven't gone below it here. I think once we get there, that'll be the good time to buy. You know, none of these times have we moved down in a straight line. Even here, you went from 382 all the way down to like $1 less than that, right? Almost like a pretty sizable drop in a short amount of time. You came all the way back up, had like a double top, and then went down. You know, here, same thing, same example. And then at the worst case scenario, if you're looking to buy lower, you consolidated for a while. Maybe you don't get to buy lower than this low, but you can still buy pretty damn near it. You know, if things repeat themselves in any of these forms, lower prices are probably going to come over the coming weeks. And I very much do expect, you know, I don't normally give time analysis, but for Cleanspark, I very much do expect that the price will find its low sometime in March, probably the middle of March, like just past the middle of March is what I have projected out. Maybe I'll be right, maybe I'll be wrong. This is a nice bounce on the 123 weekly moving average, but if we look back in time, really, like here, you kind of tipped it this one time, still went through it, but I mean, went below it here, didn't really find support right off it, right? You went a little bit through it, found resistance here, but not right off it still. I would think that we would go a little bit through it, personally, but I can be wrong, man. I really can. But yeah, not phased. Definitely not phased. I think it's going lower, and that's all I got to say. So before I say more of the same old stuff, I'm going to end it there. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.